Good day, sir. I'm Jeremy Yageduyor, and I'm here to discuss the given country in our subject Comparative Models of Policing, which is Russia. Learning about Russia. Introduction. Russia is a country that stretches over a vast expanse of Eastern Europe and Northern Asia. Once the preeminent republics, USSR, or commonly known as the Soviet Union. Russia became an independent country after the dissolution of the Soviet Union in December 1991. Before we proceed in our discussion, let me state the objectives. First is distinguish the policing system of Russia. Know the ranks of the police from general to the lowest. Learn about the type of government in Russia. Be familiar about the correctional system of Russia. And lastly, realize the court system of Russia. Topic 1. Type of government of Russia. Democracy is a form of government in which all eligible citizens have an equal say in the decisions that affect their lives. In Russia, the type of government they have is democracy, in which the government is of the people, by the people, and for the people. They exercise democracy in which the people votes for their president and all the cabinets in the government. Next, Russian police hierarchy. Before, police force was named as militia, but in the year 2011, it was replaced by the name police at present. The police organization in Russia it operates under the Ministry of the Internal Affairs. Russian police hierarchy. The police organization is divided into 6 categories. First is the Supreme Officers General Officer category, in which the Marshal of Russian Federation is the highest rank of the police, in which it is immediately above the General of the Army. The Marshal holds an insignia of 5 stars. Army General. This is the second highest rank according to Russian Federation. This position is superior to a Colonel General. The Army General holds an insignia of 4 stars. Colonel General. This is a senior rank of General, and the insignia is 3 stars for the Colonel General. Lieutenant General. This rank is below the Colonel General and above the Major General. The insignia for the Lieutenant General is of 2 stars. Major General. A Major General is subordinate to the rank of Lieutenant General. The insignia for this rank is a single star. Next is the Senior Officers Field Grade Officers category, in which the members are Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, Colonel, and the Major. A colonel is denoted as the commanding officer of the entire regiment. Lieutenant Colonel. A Lieutenant Colonel is above a Major and commands a specific group of battalions. Major commands auxiliary areas of the entire regiment. Next category is the Junior Officers or Company Grade Officers. Captain. The rank of captain is below a major and the captain commands a company. Senior Lieutenant. A senior lieutenant supervises the work of the sergeant, detectives, and other junior officers. Lieutenant acts as a chief commander, and lastly, the junior lieutenant assists the senior lieutenants in emergency situations and normal duties. Next category is the under officers or master non-commissioned officers. As senior warrant officer, acts as a technical leader, supervisor, and commander. Next, warrant officer. They are responsible for organizing equipment, materials, and various technical systems. Next category is the sergeant and petty officers category. Master sergeant. The master sergeant of Russian police hierarchy teaches the subordinate about the technical aspect of the weapons and about the troubleshooting phenomenon. Senior sergeant. A senior sergeant is responsible for providing training and guidance to the fighting forces. Sergeant. They work for the municipal departments and are responsible for various disciplinary measures. Junior sergeant. They provide guidance to the troops on police justice issues. In this soldiers category is the last category in the sixth police hierarchy in Russia. Effector. They are senior soldiers promoted after gaining experience. Private. They are junior and introductory level soldiers. Here is the ranks of police from highest to the lowest. First is Marshal of Russian Federation. Second, Army General, C. Colonel General, D. Lieutenant General, Major General, Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, Major. Next to Major is Captain, Senior Lieutenant, Lieutenant, Junior Lieutenant, Senior Warrant Officer. Next, Warrant Officer, Master Sergeant, and Sergeant. Next to Sergeant is Junior Sergeant, Effector, and last or the lowest rank is the Private. Correctional systems in Russia. Prisons in Russia consist of 4 types of facilities, namely the pretrial institutions, educative or juvenile colonies, corrective colonies, and last is the prison. In pretrial institutions, it handles criminal cases in which the criminals are held and also they handle criminals who are accused of a crime. Next is educative or juvenile colonies. In this facility, they hold juveniles in which they rehabilitate them in their behavior, in which they educate and teaches them how to be a member of the society. Next is corrective colonies. In corrective colonies in Russia, it administered the criminal cases in which they combine penalties with compulsory work or labor work. Last is prison. The prison handles the criminals in which they have a life sentence or yung mga life sentence yung hinahandle nila. They make sure the completion of the given na parusa sa mga criminal. Next, the correctional systems is Federal Penitentiary Service. These were prisons in Russia are administered. The main responsibility of SIN are to ensure the completion of criminal penalties by convicted persons as well hold detainees accused of crimes. They also manages the well-being and the rights of prisoners under the Russian government. Next topic is all about court systems in Russia. Current judicial system of Russia composed of the Constitutional Court of the Russian Federation, the Supreme Court of Russian Federation, federal courts, and also constitutional courts, and Justice of the Peace of Constituent Entities of the Russian Federation. Now let's discuss them one by one. The Constitutional Court of the Russian Federation main task is to resolve cases regarding the constitutionality of normative legal acts of all levels, while the Supreme Court of the Russian Federation heads the system of courts of general jurisdiction and the system of commercial courts. It exercises control over the activities of lower courts and provides them clarification on issues of judicial practice in order to ensure uniform application of legislation throughout the country. The Justice of Peace naman administer on the local level and have limited jurisdiction. They consider property disputes with an amount of claims under 50,000 and criminal cases in which the maximum possible punishment does not exceed 3 years of imprisonment. Policing systems in Russia. This is the last topic. The principal law enforcement agencies are the Ministry of the Interior of the Russian Federation, the Federal Customs Service, the Federal Security Service, the Federal Guard Service, the Federal Control Service, as well as the Office of the Prosecutor General and the Ministry of the Justice of the Russian Federation. Ministry of the Interior, Functions and Missions. The Ministry of the Interior is a federal agency of the executive branch of the government of the Russian Federation, in which it is responsible for the formulation and implementation of state policy in the area of internal affairs, including migration, and for the regulation of that area on the basis of legal instruments and laws. The Ministry coordinates and oversees the activities of the Federal Migration Services, or FMS, which is subordinate to it. Within its area of competence, the Ministry ensures the protection of human and civil rights and freedoms, the maintenance of public order and road safety, in addition to preventing, uncovering, interdicting, and investigating crimes and administrative infractions. The Ministry controls and organizes the work of the internal affairs agencies of the Russian Federation, or the police, and of the Ministry Interior Forces, acting in accordance with the laws of the Russian Federation. It also coordinates and carries out criminal investigations and inquiries and is responsible for forensic activities. Next, Federal Customs Service, Functions and Mission. The Federal Customs Service is a federal agency of the executive branch of the government, in which it is authorized in accordance with the laws and statutory instrument of the Russian Federation to perform functions connected with the formulation of the state policy and regulatory activities, control and oversight in custom matters, and also currency control functions, along with special functions involving countermeasures against smuggling, other crime and administrative infractions. The government of the Russian Federation oversees the operation of the Federal Customs Service. The Federal Customs Service is responsible for ensuring compliance with prohibitions and restrictions imposed on goods crossing Russian customs borders, as provided for under Russian laws governing strict control of the foreign trade activity and international treaties signed by the Russian Federation. It is also responsible for the customs clearance and control. Federal Guard Service, Function and Mission. The Federal Guard Service is a federal agency of the executive branch, in which, acting in accordance with the laws and other legal instruments in force, is responsible for regulating, monitoring, and overseeing the security of the President, governmental and other forms of special communications and information. Federal Drug Control Agency, Function and Mission. It is a federal agency of the executive branch of government in which formulates state policy and acting in accordance with laws and other legal instruments, enforce, regulate, monitors, and oversees the circulation of narcotic drugs, psychotropic substances, and other precursors, and also measures to combat illicit trafficking in these substances. Thank you, sir, for listening, and this is the end of my presentation.